The content of this channel is for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button. And please, feel free to share the video. Thank you.
What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD. You tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, with no well, don't curse for the show even get started. With no chasers, man. Straight up. And first and foremost, man, big up to the haters. What's good with y'all? What's cracking with the haters out there? I don't hope you're having a good day today. If you haven't done so already, man, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and hit the bell notification button so you can stay abreast of what's cracking here on the Green Gorilla channel. Straight up. And, before I get things started, like I always do, I want to give a shout out to all the members of the Green Gorilla channel. I always do this. So shout out to Barnolas, hiphop.catv, Dar, Lord Hamal, Brotherly Love 215, Lee Ways, Michael Ross, Vincent Lindsay, and Michael Pierce. Big up. Big up to Beautiful Trauma, Quiz the Poet, Black Wizard ADOS, Jazz Tech, Shadow Observer, Sugar T, Artisan MC, Big Said 658, and Nasiana. Big up. Big up to Kyle J. Sura, Kareem, Troy Warren, Blacksword 404, Jeff R., Mrs. KP Bailey, Cutting Up with the Jones, Ricky Dawson, Alan Wiley in the Face. Big up. Big up to Mantis on Break, Electrician 480, Life of Commerce, Apex Prowler, Julius Ferguson, True 7360, Herbert Lewis, D. Scott, Marvin Evans, and A. Wilson's Ghost. Big up. Big up to Rogus Son, L. Fry, Timothy Blewett, Jeffrey Speed, Marvin Battle Jr., Mark Holt, John J., the IDP Expressions, Afro Troop TV, and Adam. Big up. Big up to BGS Ibmore, Ignatz Mouse, Brian Peaks, Papa Dida, Scott Haywood, Black Uru Strikes, Dr. Tree 33, Leroy Honeycutt, Broken Blade, and Super Tech. Big up. Big up to 77 Base X, Brian McMurray, Cameron S., Anthony Davis, Donnell 360, 7th Coast Dojo, Pulpit 28, Charles Rogers, Rick Ross, and Sandra Jean. Big up. Big up to Charles Gilmore, Patricia Colley, Greg, Barry Little, Mr. Valentino, Jason Hales, Black Men Being Brutally Honest, Karen 87, Doc LaRock, and Mark Swift. Big up. Big up to Odd Collar, Donnell Watts, Coach Hotep, Old Soul Chief, Mr. Blue Collar, I'm Just Jules, TD Hip Hop Media, Drew Main, Mr. Heat, and Sir Anthony. Big up. Big up to MLR, Universal 178, Rashid Barnes, Aaron Smith, DH, Beware the Revelator, Gold Professor, Aaron Infinite, Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Kalan Jakala, Hostile Adept, and W. Pierre 1. And I can't forget my brothers in heaven, Forrest Windu, David Carroll, and Kevin Samuels. Big up to y'all, man. And I can't forget my people on the Patreon side, man. The patrons on the Patreon side. Big up to Albert C., Anu 219, Asangwa, Charles Fontentot, Darnell Smith, Dragon 59, Dr. Ben Vincent, I Am the Light of My Father, Jason Warren, Jay Bailey, Judah Arenda, Lamont Lattimore, Mr. Michi, Prisoner, Rufus Winfield, Taz, Tyrone Hampton, Waffle Weave, William Joyner, and Excalibur. Big up to all of y'all, and thank you so much. Y'all deserve a round of applause, man, for supporting your boy here on the Green Gorilla channel. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And if you're wondering how you also can support the Green Gorilla channel on an ongoing basis, man, well, here's how you do it. What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. the place where black men can express themselves freely. Straight up, no chaser. Today, I want to introduce you to my new membership program that consists of 5 levels where you can invest in the Green Gorilla channel on a monthly basis and receive level-specific perks. Memberships are special because they improve the quality of the content of the channel and will help me to be able to keep the channel going. Now, to participate in the Green Gorilla channel membership program, all you have to do is hit the join button, which is located right next to the subscribe button on my channel page. Now, for all of my subscribers who decide not to participate in my membership program, nothing will change. The content will keep coming the way it always has. Thanks for watching, and be careful out here, people. Bless. All right, man, we back. You know who I am. You know who I be. I'm the G with a PhD. You tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, no chasers. Real deal, Holyfield. Now, all of y'all know that primarily this show is a black manosphere channel. That's what it is first and foremost. Straight up, no chasers. That's what it is. At the outset, that's the purpose of it. That's the point. But everybody knows who is a member of the channel or who is subscribed to the channel that I also do a little musical content here and there. You know, I got like a lo-fi hip hop joint running 24/7. Okay? It is what it is. I'm doing it because, you know, every now and then I'm like, okay, you got to unplug from your red pill rage or whatever it is you're stressing about and enjoy yourself. I ain't doing this to get rich. There is no money to get rich in this shit, man. Straight up. I'm not doing this to get rich off lo-fi hip hop. I'm providing a service. Now, if you enjoy the service, support it by either looking at it, consuming it, or supporting it monetarily. Otherwise, you know, I'm going to take the shit down. But I'm going to continue to make music because I like to do it. I like it. It soothes my nerves. It is therapeutic to and for me. But, you know, the other day, I got a nasty little message from one white boy by the name of Clayton Tucker. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody can come on and be critical. But when you say one thing I don't like, well, it's 2 things I don't like. I don't like liars and I don't like thieves. Word to the mother, man. Word to your father. I don't like liars and I don't like thieves. That's some shit I don't like. I'm like your boy Chief Keef on that. That's some shit I don't like. I don't like that. So you got this white boy, man, who basically said, I'm stealing music. I'm infringing on other people's intellectual property by using the services I'm using and doing the shit that I'm doing. Like I'm stealing shit from people. That pisses me off, man. That shit pissed me off. Only because I'm doing everything on the straight and narrow. Everything I'm doing is on the up and up. But got the white boy, this little bum-ass white boy. Let me get rid of that, man. That boy right there saying I'm stealing people's music. I'm taking it. So just to let you know, you can't hear what he said because what he said cannot be heard. He wrote a comment and I removed the comment, Khalil Bey. I removed the comment. But he told me, basically, the hip-hop channel that I got running 24/7, I'm stealing. And the music that I'm putting out here consistently is other people's music. I'm taking and stealing their intellectual property. Now, I got a problem with this shit because I'm tired of white people. He act like he the posse comitatus, like he on a slave patrol, like an intellectual property patrol, trying to screen YouTube to find out who's doing appropriate content or not, who's being rapacious or not, who's being on the up and up or not. Man, fuck you. Ain't nobody elect you a goddamn sheriff of music, man. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Now I'm gonna demonstrate that everything I'm doing is on the up and up, man. I know he don't deserve attention, dog. What's up, root to the bros out there? I know he don't deserve attention, but I want to make a point clear. I want to make a point very clear. Everything I'm doing is on the straight and narrow and on the up and up. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show it to you. Okay? Bottom line, I'm gonna show it to you. So I'm gonna share the screen right now. Got a Chrome tab. See that? Hold on, you don't see that, because I don't see that. You see that? You should be able to see that. I am a subscriber to a service called Artlist.io. Bottom line. And what they do is they allow you, if you pay for it, they allow you to license music for video. You dumb fuck. I'm able to license the music that I'm using on my channel. You dumb fuck. What I'm using, I have a legal right to use. Now, you know how I feel about rights in general, but this is a convention made up, a law made up in our society to govern and regulate the use of intellectual property. And I'm subscribed to the service. If you look closely at the screen, you'll see my subscription ID, Green's Library. You'll see it. Let me remove this shit. I'm gonna go to a different window. So, because I want to do this in a different way. I want to capture. I want to capture the screen instead of doing what I'm doing. Right here, you can say, it says Green's Library. Green's Library. So apparently I'm subscribed to the service. What does the service enable me to do? They have licenses for content creators. You have two types of licenses, personal and unlimited. Here's the rights that I have related to my service. I have unlimited downloads of music. I get new music and sound effects daily. I'm able to use the music in an unlimited fashion on all of my social fucking media channels. Period. I pay for it. I can use it. That's what I pay for it for. So I can fucking use it. What's the use of me paying for it if I don't fucking use it? You dumb fuck. The songs that I have licensed in my video, I can use forever. I can use them. I can use them in order to make videos for other people if I decide to get off into that. I can use them in commercial work. I can use them in paid and promoted videos. And I can broadcast the music that I use. I have a right to do it within the confines of the law, copyright law. Now, you already know how I feel about rights. I don't think that there is any natural rights, but this is a convention established, set up for the regulation of intellectual property. I'm abiding by the fucking law. I'm not violating it or stealing anybody's intellectual property. Lord Juno, I understand he shouldn't get the press, but I want to cover this because, first of all, you got to understand, hip-hop was created in the fucking Bronx, man. Hip-hop was created in the Bronx. I'm putting this up right now just so you can see it. Hip-hop. And usually I don't like to use Wikipedia, but hip-hop was started off in the Bronx, man, by inner city African Americans, Caribbean Americans, and some Puerto Ricans. It consists of stylized rhythmic music, usually built around drum beats that commonly accompanies rapping, a rhythmic and rhyming speech that is chanted. It developed as part of hip-hop culture, a subculture defined by 4 key stylistic elements: rapping, DJing and scratching with turntables, breakdancing, and graffiti writing. It started with some black folks and some Caribbeans, they of African descent. And Puerto Ricans also got African descent. So this is where this shit started. Another element of hip hop includes sampling beats or bass lines from records or synthesized beats and sounds and rhythmic beatboxing. So this whole shit about stealing, right now, man, you got a whole bunch of content creators on YouTube, basically white folks, who are utilizing hip hop. They done basically gentrified the shit. Now, we ain't gonna go through the history of hip hop and how it all started and developed, the various labels who began, to promote the music, the producers, the executives, and how they exploited early artists, and how nobody actually, when it first started, nobody actually thought the shit was gonna make money. They thought it was gonna be a passing phase. But eventually it grew and it blossomed into something that the record labels found that they could make money off of. And so right now, here we stand in 2022 with some shit that was created in the 70s. And now you got white people. This shit started off with park jams and sound systems in the gritty, dirty streets of the Bronx. Then it moved to Brooklyn and Queens and Staten Island. And it began to move and move and move out. It spread like a rash all throughout the nation into the whole fucking world. And I'm pissed off about it because right now you got white folks on YouTube making a shit ton of fucking money off hip hop, and niggas still broke off this shit. A whole bunch of niggas, man. And you got the nerve to tell me I'm stealing? Y'all gentrifying hip hop. This shit started off in the Bronx. Now y'all doing this shit online like it's some cool cafe latte drinking shit. Then you got the nerve to come to me and tell me I'm stealing? This shit started off in the hood, in the inner city, man. Didn't start off in the suburbs with motherfuckers drinking cafe lattes, relaxing and chilling in the bedroom, studying for fucking college, man. Now, look, I'm not saying that nobody else can do the music. Hey, you can, if you're white from the suburbs and you're a good producer, man, produce the music. Have fun with it. I'm not here to tell you that you can't do it. Do it. But when you see black folks engaged in the process of creating hip hop, and I've been doing this shit, man, since I was 16, 17 years old, man. I ain't just started making beats. I've been doing this shit for a long time. I started off as a DJ a long time ago. when we used to actually sample. I've been doing this shit for a long time, very long time. I ain't just started making beats, but I guarantee you, dog, today it's more producers or cats that think that they're producers with their little programs and shit than there are rappers, man. Real talk. Everybody's a fucking DJ or a producer now. Because they got Fruity Loops or Logic or some other, digital audio workstation that enables them to put little beats and shit together. And they half the time the shit sound like 10 pans. The shit sound terrible. Now I'm doing this for fun. And I'm sharing my creative aspect with you all. If you like it, support it. If you don't have to fucking consume it. But one thing I will not be told is that I'm stealing and infringing upon the rights of other persons, because I don't fucking move like that. Because I don't like liars or thieves. Real talk. I don't like liars or thieves. Another thing that I do is I subscribe to a service called Splice. I don't know if you ever heard of Splice, but they have a service. Let me go back. This is Splice. They have literally millions of samples that are royalty free. Millions and millions and millions of samples, man. And you can get anything from a kick, a snare, a hi-hat sound, to a loop, a guitar, a piano, whatever the case may be. It's all here. As you can see, in the corner here, well, you really can't see it because my logo is covering it. But I am a subscriber to this fucking service. So I'm going to use it. But here's the hitch. I need to explain the facts about using Splice and the sounds that they have. The first thing people need to know, all the samples on Splice are royalty free. One punch me, hey, bruh. Hey, man. This guy been waiting for me to, he said, I'm still waiting for where them kids' daddy's at. Lo-fi hip-hop beat. Well, I might put that one together, man. I gotta find a video that I actually match that. And thank you, Zanko, for becoming a member of the Green Gorilla channel. Appreciate that. Also, I want to give a shout out to J Booth, JH Booth. He says, GG, don't take the channel down. Hey, if you don't support it, I'm gonna take it down because I'm not gonna spend money. I'm gonna continue to make the videos, but I'm not gonna continuously spend money and nobody's supporting it. I'm not gonna do that. Fuck that. So anyway, I already informed you about Splice. It's samples. So back in the day in hip hop, these DJs and these producers would take samples from older records and interpolate them into their creations and rap on top of them. Then there was a big hullabaloo about these guys stealing music and how cheap and easy it was to steal music rather than to actually pay for it and give credit to the original publishers and copyright holders of the work. So they came in with all of these laws and all of these systems to make sure that these Negroes who was making this music wasn't so-called stealing from older artists. So eventually, if there's a need, somebody's going to basically fulfill the demand. They're going to fulfill it. And you got people who are creating royalty-free loops so that other people can utilize them and interpolate them into their musical creations. And they don't have to worry about basically, because I've been through this myself. If you sample a record, you have to talk to the publisher who owns the publishing of the record, and you got to talk to the copyright holders of the people who basically created the record. You got to holler at two different entities of persons, the original creators and the publishers, if they're different, because they can be the same. I know this because I've been doing this shit for a long time and made a lot of money off the music game. I ain't even trying to make money off this shit for real. But anyway, I really didn't. Earlier, when I first started making music, I sampled, then I stopped. Because I said, this shit is a hassle. I don't feel like paying people. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. So I started making trap music for real, way before it was called trap music. Way before. But here's the deal. All the samples on Splice are royalty free. So they say, are they royalty free? Yes, you have a broad royalty free license for every sample that you download from Splice. Can I use them for commercial use? The license for samples you download from Splice can be used for commercial and non-commercial uses so long as you comply with our terms of use. What are the limitations of this license? You basically can't resell the sounds and the samples. That's all it is. You may not use sounds as standalone sound effects or loops, or to create new samples, or compete with Splice or our sample providers. You also may not transfer, broadcast, stream, redistribute, or use your sound except as you incorporate it into a music product. So you can use the sounds, but you have to use them inside of a creative work. If you cancel your account, do you lose the sounds? No. If you downloaded them before you cancel, you still have a right to use them. Do you have 100% ownership of your composition if you use Splice samples? What you create is yours. Nobody else can take it. But they remind you, you don't own the copyright to the fucking samples. You don't own a copyright to none of these samples. So if you're a content creator out there on YouTube, if you're using Splice and creating an original composition, you need to basically, when you put your videos out there, instead of having a standard YouTube license tag on your video, you need to put the shit in the Creative Commons, for real. You need to put it in the Creative Commons. These people are acting like they own the samples that they getting that are royalty free from fucking goddamn Splice. And that's some bullshit. These guys, and half of their videos don't have but 1 to 5 views. I mean, some of them have more though. I ain't gonna lie. Some of them have more. Can I register my creative work for a copyright? Yeah, do that. You can do that, but it ain't got nothing to do with us. If, this is the big one right here. If another producer uses the same sample as me in their work, is my work infringing on their work? And the answer is, we do not grant users exclusive licenses. Many fucking users can use the goddamn samples. Many users can use the fucking sample. Period. Many users can use the goddamn sample, man. It's just simple, man. It don't take a lot of motherfucking information and knowledge to know this, man. All you gotta do is look at your fucking agreement and look at the facts on the service. So don't come to my page telling me I'm stealing fucking music when I'm paying for the shit that I'm using. And many of the songs that I use don't have samples in them. Or if they do, they have minimal samples in them. I just made a beat the other day. I don't even know if y'all know what beat making actually looks like. I got a program called Fruity Loops at FL Studio. That's FL Studio right there. Just in case you didn't know. I just made a beat. I put the video out there with Reverend X. I put the video out there with Reverend X in it. If you know anything about music production, you know the difference between MIDI and samples. The only thing that's a sample in the song that I just did with the Reverend X in the video is a drum loop. I didn't feel like making a drum loop. I said, fuck it. I just want to play this music that's in my head and get it out. So all of the other fucking instruments and arrangements are done by me. I did the bass line. You want to look at the bass line? Those are all the various notes in the goddamn bass line. You can look at them and see them. Here are the piano parts. You see that? And everybody knows what the song fucking sounds like because I did it before. I did the song before. Yeah, I can play that. I can play the shit on my computer. I mean, there are some things I can't do on my computer. And let me give a shout out to I'm Just Jules. Thank you, sir, for your donation. I appreciate that. Appreciate your support. Shout out to Broken Blade for your support. Appreciate that. But let me show you something. To show you that I can play on my keyboard, I got a video out there that's showing me playing. My boy recorded the shit. He came over here for a little minute. He was having trouble with his wife. He said, fuck, I need a place to duck off for a quick minute. I let the dude duck off. And I'm sitting here playing my shit. He was like, what the fuck are you doing in there, man? I said, man, I'm making this little dope ass beat. And here it is.
Who the fuck does this shit?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, who the fuck does that?
So there you have it. The shit ain't impossible to do. I do have a small MIDI keyboard that basically I made a beat for Dr. Johnson. And he was like, man, do you need a keyboard? I said it would probably be a little more helpful than me fucking trying to stress and play all this goddamn music on the damn laptop, but fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Because I do know how to play the keys. I know if I didn't know how to play the keys, how can I possibly play any fucking music on a goddamn QWERTY keyboard? How? So this shit just kills me, man. I'm telling you, this shit kills me, bro. Exactly, Meteor Man. 88. I hear you, 88, bros. Look, ain't no excuses. They're monuments of nothingness. They build bridges to nowhere. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do exactly what it is I have to do in order to ensure that I'm getting what is in my head out into the real world. If there's a will, there's a way. I had a will, so I made a way. But everything I'm doing legally. There's nothing I'm stealing or taking from other people. But it doesn't stop other people from being jealous or for having fucking comments. This is therapeutic for me. I like to do it. It's something I enjoy. Now, I know this is off the beaten path. I'm not talking about, the fucking gender war and shit like that. But the problem is, you got these pasty-ass white bread chicken shit motherfuckers, all they do is steal. But then they'll point the finger at you and act like you fucking stealing. You stole people from fucking Africa and brought them over here so you can steal their labor. And you got the nerve to tell me I'm stealing fucking intellectual property. Man, fuck you, dude. That's all I'm saying. Then you done stole fucking hip-hop. Right now, y'all doing some old weird shit with hip-hop. Y'all doing some weird shit with the music, man. Like it's some cool shit to just chill with. And I don't have a problem with it. Look, it's cool. Yeah, they did, Travis. They stole our intellectual property as well. And they fucking know it. But they walk around the goddamn planet like they regulating the behavior of everybody else in a way that's actually fucking in accordance with reality. This is why these people have an inverted epistemology. They don't fucking know, or they refuse to even acknowledge the fucking havoc they've wreaked on the planet, especially these white boys. You go, man, any art form, from fucking hip-hop, which is the most recent, to what? Rock and roll, to the fucking blues, to swing music. All that shit was something Negroes was doing, to jazz. The only thing these motherfuckers got is classical and country music, man. Real talk. A dee 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 ding 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 ding. A dee dee ding 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 ding. Now, I ain't trying to hate. Look, I believe anybody should be able to create, like if you're inspired by another culture, you should be able to, if you're respectful and you respect the art form, engage in it. Like I know how to play classical music on the guitar and the piano. So if I want to play it, I'm going to fucking play it. That's not the problem. The problem is going around making claims against other people. That's what I don't like. This is what we got a problem with the feminists for. They going around telling everybody how bad everybody else is, but they don't fucking look in the mirror. Or if they do look in the mirror, they pretend that they don't look like the painting of Dorian Gray, which is some bullshit. Look in the mirror. What the fuck have y'all stolen? That's why I don't like white boys. I do not like white boys, man, coming to me telling me what the fuck I done stole. As much fucking shit y'all done stole on this planet, man, fuck you. Somebody Somebody need to torch his ass. Somebody need to let him know. Stop going around YouTube saying shit that you don't know shit about. Now, I already done demonstrated that every fucking thing I done utilized, I paid for. Everything I'm utilizing, I have a fucking right to utilize. Everything. There's nothing that I'm using that I don't have a right to use. I have not stolen anybody's intellectual property. I have not infringed on anybody's copyrights at all. But the question is, what the fuck are you doing, Clayton Tucker? What the fuck are you doing? You could have actually came and supported the music, but instead you decided to be a fuck bitch ass boy and not support and hate on the shit when you know fucking goddamn well we the ones that originated this shit. That's why. And thank you for becoming a member as well, Travis. Appreciate that. Travis, I don't know if the white boy can create music or not. But that's besides the point. The point is, you all up in this space, trolling, basically saying that, and I know myself, I know my creativity. Don't knock my creativity, because either you have none or your shit ain't taking off. Everything I'm using, I have a fucking right to use. But I don't like white boys telling, especially black folks, how fucking, they're stealing. They're doing something that's backwards and engaged in some, exploitation of other people. You motherfuckers are the original exploiters. How the fuck dare you fucking issue some sort of moral proclamation against what the fuck I'm doing? Now subscribe to my shit and promote my shit. That's what you need to do, Tucker. And all you people out there, I don't know how many, this is not my regular kind of topics of discussion. Usually I'm talking about politics. It's not what I'm usually talking about. Okay? But in reality, all these content creators out here doing music and shit, man, if you're using Splice, stop fucking putting standard YouTube licenses on your goddamn videos, man. Stop it. You know it's a goddamn lie. You know half of y'all can't play a lick of fucking music at all. You don't know a C from a G on a goddamn piano keyboard, a guitar, or a horn. You don't know shit about music, a whole bunch of y'all. Nothing. You know nothing about the theory. All y'all do is go on these goddamn services. You use the samples, but you don't even know how to fucking recreate the samples. You don't know how to chop the samples. You don't know how to add your own fucking, your own little salt and pepper to the samples. You don't know nothing about music. Y'all just take one beat, match it with another beat, put something on top of that, sound like a bunch of shit, and then put it out and act like you did something creative. Now, some people know how to sample and do so creatively. But one thing I know for certain, y'all need to stop, all you YouTube producers, man, all you guys out there who's making beats, stop putting standard YouTube licenses on your fucking videos. Stop it. Put your video in the Creative Commons. You still can monetize your video. Nobody is going to steal some shit from you that's royalty free to fucking begin with. Who's going to steal it? They have a right to use it. How can somebody steal some royalty free shit? How can you steal some shit from somebody that's royalty free? Tucker. How? I bet you he won't reply to this shit, but I know he's gonna see. If he's ever seen what the fuck I'm doing over here to begin with, because it might be that he's one of these guys that's making a copyright claim against me. But every time one of these artists make a copyright claim against me, I win. Because you know why? Because I am actually subscribed to Splice, and they give me a license for every fucking sound I use. They itemize it. You use this, did you use that? Did you use this? I used all these samples right here. Okay. Well, here's the certification. I send it to YouTube. Within 30 days, their fucking claim is dismissed. Your claim is dismissed. Evans, what you mean? You hold on, wait a minute. I'm gonna let some people come in if they want to come in here. I want to know what the fuck you mean by that. I want to know what you mean by that. Because if you listen to early hip hop, if you listen to Public Enemy, what the fuck is it, bruh? You saying they wasn't creative and artistic by using samples? I say you're a goddamn fool. Did you listen to, all of the old school hip hop records from Dr. Dre? Most of his records are interpolations of other people's music. What's happening?
What's good, Green? No, I was listening to everything you said, and I was like, shit, he just called out all you motherfuckers sampling and hating and me and this and that. Oh, I was with you on that one. That's why I put that shit. He called all y'all out.
I'm just tired of content creators on YouTube triggering copyright strikes for material that they know is royalty free. It's not yours. Anybody can
Fucking
use it.
right.
You know how, this is what it's like. A Village Wife. That's what the sounds on Splice.com are like Village Wives. Each and every last sound on there. Anybody can use it. That's like a chick anybody can fuck. Anybody. There's nobody who subscribes to the service who don't have access to those sounds. Everybody can use them. So what you can't do is use it and then say, well, I used it first. Man, it don't work like that. That ain't the part of the game. The game is anybody who subscribes to the service can use it. Now, you know how many people in the music industry have sampled other people's shit? In hip hop?
Forever in a time, shit, that's all they do. Shit, that's how you think rap got started.
And jazz musicians been doing standards from other artists forever. Country musicians been doing it. R&B artists been doing it. Everybody's doing it. But when niggas start to make a little bit of cash, that's when motherfuckers start to have a problem with the shit.
You know it.
Charles Rich, man, shout out to you. Thank you for the blessing, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to change the name of it. I'm not going to, look. To be perfectly honest, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of at the point where I don't give a fuck. To be honest about it. But I do understand. I do appreciate your recommendation. But you don't get to throw stones from a glass house. Bob James, man, Bob James is the shit to me. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of cats, man, like Rakim, my favorite song from them, Follow the Leader, is a sample from Bob James. The Nautilus. That's a dope ass song. A lot of cats, Run DMC, the Peter Piper song? That's a Bob James record. These DJs were taking what they had available to them and putting it into their creative works. They didn't have instruments, bruh, in the Bronx. A lot of these kids. They had turntables and a mixer. And eventually, they put their money together and bought more and more shit. But they didn't have music education in these schools like back, you know, in the day. These kids was getting it out of the mud. They was doing the best they could with what they had. The other shit the white boys threw away, black kids, man, was taking and finding new ways to use it and creating a whole different genre of music. But now you say we stealing. That's not really creative what you're doing there. Until they start to make money off of it, now everybody's into it and shit. You know when I first knew that this lo-fi shit probably was going to end up taking off? I'm going to tell you when I exactly knew. When Joe Scarborough and that Ivana woman, I can't remember Zbigniew Brzezinski's daughter. I forget what her name is. I think her first name is Ivanka. But I know she was the daughter of Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was, you know, at one point the Secretary of State or some shit like that. Okay? When they start playing hip-hop beats and shit on Morning Joe, I said, oh, it's a rap now. This is lounge music for them now. It's a way to be counterculture and hip without actually having to, you know, really be a part of counterculture. You just listen to some hip-hop or some shit. Mika, that's her name, yeah. Yeah, take me to Mardi Gras, Bob James. You're exactly right. That's that Peter Piper right there. But I mean, you know, we start, and James Brown, for crying out loud, how many records have the funky drummer in it? Like in the early 80s, well, not the early, but the mid 80s, damn near every record that was out there had the funky drummer in it, or was sampling some James Brown. But now you take people on YouTube.
They were either sampling Rick James shit. Trust me.
Exactly. When I saw Dilla, to me, is like the defining individual who kind of like helps to push the whole genre of lo-fi hip-hop along. Tribe Called Quest. That's why I did this. That's why I do jazz. Or, you know, like I'll play a blues scale over some jazz chords, and it'll sound good. It's hip hop. Because you remember that Tribe Called Quest. You remember that Jay Dilla that you was listening to. You remember that, De La Soul. You remember that. You remember Diggable Planets and all that. What's good, Chef Mike?
Hey, what's going on, GG? Hey, man. Everything you saying, and you are spot on, bro. You are spot on. I'm from Augusta, Georgia, and I know the impact that James Brown has had on hip hop. The funky drummer, the break is at about 4 minutes and 20 seconds, but Clyde Stubblefield was doing the drop from about 3 minutes and some change. But at that break, when James Brown counts, he says, I want to get some more. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. And Clyde breaks into that. That is the birth of the hip-hop beat right there. Every hip-hop beat, the boom bap was created on that. Like, for real. You are talking absolute truth. Folks don't realize how deep our music goes and has gone around the world. I'll give you another example. W.C. Handy, he scored and wrote the St. Louis Blues, right? When the New York Philharmonic went to France to perform, they started playing St. Louis Blues, and the Parisians stood up because they thought it was the American national anthem.
That's crazy.
Folks don't realize. Like talk about country music, that's not theirs either. That goes back to Scott Joplin, 1880, 1890. Scott Joplin, the Entertainer. That's when you had syncopation. That sound from the Entertainer, the syncopation, that started like Dixieland jazz, and out of Dixieland jazz, you started to get a shoot off for the blues, and then when the folks in Appalachia got a hold to it, that's where you get your mountain music. That's where you get your country music from. But it's all an offshoot of what we've already done.
All I'm saying is, how dare you say I'm stealing people's music? First of all, I already demonstrated that what it is that I'm utilizing is within my purview to use in a legal capacity. Now, it seems disingenuous to me for somebody to say, okay, you can subscribe to the service, but if another artist has utilized the sample, you can't use it anymore. Like, dude, like, do you think I got time to go through YouTube and scour the fucking net to determine who's used the sample that's on a service that I done paid for, like to basically scrub the net to see if somebody else done used it already? And it's royalty free? Why would I do some stupid shit like that? It doesn't even make sense. And then you got cats acting like they being creative as hell. Like that. They can't make a song like the one I just did with the Reverend X beat on it. I did the bass line myself, the chords, and I played the organ over the shit. On my keyboard, bruh. On a laptop. Now, I ain't saying ain't no white boys out there that can't do it. Most of the producers in hip hop right now making these trap beats, you'd be surprised, dog. It's white boys. You know, you wouldn't think it, but it is the case. They running the hip hop trap music game right now in terms of producing. Not all of them, but it's a good portion of them dudes that's white. Go-to guys. Like Scott Storch and shit, the motherfuckers go to. Because first of all, they have more room and latitude to learn actually how to mix music. But nowadays, the playing field is being leveled because of YouTube. You can look at a video and figure out like what certain instruments belong in certain frequency ranges and shit like that. You know, it's getting easier. The playing field is getting leveled with technology. But damn, I just hate to see, if you're a creator in the community on YouTube, you should never attack another creator, especially for some shit like music. If they not stealing some shit, these motherfuckers act like they Quincy Jones somewhere. Writing like straight up writing notes on a fucking staff somewhere. When they just going to a service and sampling some shit and then acting like you stealing from them. Come on, man. And I'm just trying to provide a service. I'm like, okay, you got a white girl, man. Got a lo-fi hip-hop channel, the Lo-Fi Girl. I ain't knocking her. Do what you want to do. She got 20,000 to 60,000 motherfuckers watching her shit all day, every day, bruh. All day, every day. So who making money off hip-hop, dog? Who's really making money off hip-hop, bruh? Some black kids started in the Bronx, bruh. Who's making money off of it, bruh? A bunch of white kids that live in the suburbs somewhere and drink cafe lattes and coffee and shit and want to hear happy chords and shit. Hey, man, I'm done, man. Y'all got something to say, man? Like, I'm about to be done with this shit, bro.
You said everything that needed to be said, Green. Real talk. Shit.
Then you got a brother, you got a black man who basically, I mean, at least I can claim some racial connection to the music, even a generational connection to the music. Dude, I started doing hip hop music and producing beats before they had computers involved. All it was musical instruments and MIDI. I don't even know if you know what MIDI is. It's called Musical Instrument Digital Interface. You used to have to SMPTE shit in order to sync the various, sounds from the various units that you had, rack units or keyboards. The first keyboard I had was an ASR 10 from Alesis. It's the same keyboard Kanye West used to use when he first started doing music, an ASR 10. Then I bought an MPC 2000. Then I bought a Roland JV 1080. It had a whole bunch of sounds in it. You had to take that shit, cart it off to the studio, and sync it up. Then they came out with ADAT machines. And you could transfer, instead of putting it on reel to reel, you would put it on tapes that look like VCRs.
Do y'all hear this, man? He ain't new to this shit. He true to it. Quit fucking with him.
I've been doing this. Bruh. I wasn't a DJ when like MIDI turntables came out. I had two 1200 Techniques with a Newmark 1700 TX mixer. That's the mixer I had. I had two PV SP2 speakers and one Black Widow, subwoofer box with two 18 inches in it. I could rock a gymnasium with that shit. I had crates and crates and crates of records. No MIDI files. No MP3s and shit like that. I had to go out there and cart the shit. Carry that shit in
all
and out.
them records.
And some of them I didn't even use, but shit, I had to bring them all with me because I didn't know if I was going to use it. You know how it go. Like, damn, that might be the record I need. I can't leave that here. So that go another 2 or 3 crates with me. I practiced this. It wasn't like something I just start doing, overnight. Like, I'm going to just break into the music. There ain't even no money to be made in the music game for real no more.
Man, Green Gorilla, screw that Richie Cunningham ass white boy. You don't know what the fuck he's talking about anyway.
Bruh, right now, when I first started making beats in my city, St. Louis, if a motherfucker want to beat for me, I'll be like, dog, you gotta at least give me $500, dog. I'm not doing all this shit. I'm not going over and over and over and over again over making beats with you for nothing less than $500, bruh. Nothing less. I've sold music, had beats and shit that I have made, synchronized in movies and shit. 5, 6 G's. But now it's so watered down. Anytime you got an oversupply, then guess what? The supply becomes less valuable because there's too many motherfuckers doing it now. And they doing it because they want to be cool and shit. Yeah, I'm like one of these guys. I'm like a trap producer or some shit. Like that makes them cool or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, dude, I was doing this. I wasn't trying to be cool. I had a passion for it. When I first heard the music, I was in 2nd grade when fucking Rapper's Delight was out. I memorized all the words back then. I had them typed on a typewriter. I had the shit typed out. I was like, hey, Mom, you gotta type this shit out. Whatever you do, I don't care what else you're doing, you have to listen to this song and type out every word. I took that shit to school. Motherfucker was like, damn, he got the lyrics to the Rapper's Delight. That's back in the day. I mean, shit, man. I used to have damn near every record of every important rapper that ever came out. I used to go buy records, man. Like, you know how much money that shit costs? Nowadays, you can just rip the shit on YouTube. You get anybody music. I paid my dues into this. So if I even do take your shit, you ought to be honored I took your shit. If I take your motherfucking goddamn idea and flip it, you ought to be happy I did it. Because I already paid into this game. I already paid into it. You don't know what it's like to go to the record store. They used to have record store Peaches, Tower Records, Street Side Records. Shit like that, man. The 12 inches used to cost $3.99 to $4.99 a pop. The LPs was like $9.99 to $12.99. I kept up with all that shit, but I was getting paid too though because I was DJing. We had a record store in St. Louis called Vintage Vinyl. When I was DJing in New Orleans, because that's what I did to get money, you know what I'm saying, like as a college student. I was a lifeguard and I was a DJ. if I'm gonna DJ your party, dog, you gotta at least give me about $300 to $400, dog, for about 2 or 3 hours. I'm not about to bust my ass carrying all this shit to your venue. I don't care how many people are there or not, but if you tell them I'm DJing, there's probably gonna be a lot of people in that bitch. I ain't trying to brag about it, but I mean, shit. I know how to put music together. I know how to blend music together as a DJ. Been doing this shit for a long time. Long time. Then you got a newfangled white boy just probably got introduced to music over how many shit? The past 5 years? Now you gonna tell me what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing, the ethics of how I'm using music. That's what pisses me off.
The nerve of that cocksucker.
Nah, and that's exactly why I'm glad you're doing what you're doing, because you're right. It is ours, and nobody should be able to shame us into devaluing our art form. No, it's ours, and I'm gonna stand up and be mad when you tell me I'm stealing. Y'all just stole my stuff because you see the value in it. You want me to feel bad and feel guilty and then toss it to the side. So what? You can come pick it up and run with it? Man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit now. For real.
And that's exactly why, that's Chef Mike and Aaron, A.L. Evans, man, that's exactly why I made the video. White boys don't get a pass. Too many motherfucking Negroes in the manosphere give these white boys a pass. Anytime they violate or say some shit that's out of line, I'm smacking them into place. They deserve our attention too.
You got to, man. At the end of the day, shit, we ain't playing no more games with them. Shit. Talking about
these
intellectual
motherfuckers getting the pass. How dare some white boy come to my... First of all, my channel's a Black Manosphere channel. It's secondarily or tertiarily a music channel. I don't even do music for real, like with this channel. Not for real. Like, it ain't like I'm throwing all my eggs into the music basket with this channel. I'm not. This is reserved for talking about social and political issues related to black men. First and foremost. But I paid my dues. I've been like, bruh, I paid my dues, man, with this hip hop shit. And quiet as kept. I got songs out here with artists, man, who are Grammy Award winning artists, bruh. Like literally collaborations with fucking platinum selling artists, bruh. I have that. No cap. Now, am I rich off the music industry? No, but it's been good to me for as long as I've been fucking with it. Now, if I decide to just fuck around with it, because I just want to share what I do creatively with the people in the community that I belong to, who the fuck are you to tell me I can't do it? What moral authority do you have to tell me that I'm engaged in unscrupulous practices when I know that I'm doing everything I can to ensure that people who are artists and who are struggling are actually getting, you know, what they deserve? Because I'm not shortcutting by just trying to do some jackleg or bootleg shit. And that'd be the same motherfucker watching, iWeb TV or some shit, stealing, all the movies he watching and shit, but he telling me I'm doing something fucked up. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? He's the same dude watching the Fire Stick and shit, watching the new Doctor Strange movie, ain't paying for it, but it'll tell you fucked up for what you paying for.
Shit, using Fire Stick to hustle YouTube and watch YouTube. Like I said before and a while ago, Green Gorilla, the nerve of that cocksucker.
So all I wanted to do is say, hey, man, how you gonna tell me? First of all, I hope he sees the video. So I'm gonna keep his image up. Your image is something that is part of the community when you leave a comment. And so I'm not doxing him. But the whole point is, I don't know where he lives, don't care where he lives. I'm not threatening the guy. I'm just telling you, step the fuck off of me and the people in my community doing this shit. What right, what moral or legal authority do you have to fucking issue any statement against what it is that I'm doing? Like I'm engaged in an unsavory practice by having fun with the shit I'm paying for.
Gigi, that is the same argument that they were afraid of when they broke up the black family. They were afraid that black men would stand up and say exactly what you just said. What the fuck gives you the right to come over here and tell me how to raise my family? What the fuck gives you the right to tell me how to doggone treat my wife? I'm doing good. That's the same reason we were silenced. Because when we stand up and we start talking, folks get scared. That's the same argument. And I know you say you don't do this, and I watch your channel, believe me. I know you don't do this, what you're doing now on your channel, but it does tie into that political fight, because we do sometimes find ourselves being shamed into, stepping and taking a back road. And it's time to be like, nah, man, fuck y'all. For real.
Don't ever tell me that what I'm doing is inauthentic or what I'm doing is somehow exploitative in terms of a practice. I'm not engaged in exploitation of anyone. I'm not doing anything outside of the scope of what the services I pay for permit and allow for. And I'll be goddamn if I'm gonna have some weak ass white dude, some lame chump ass white boy, tell me I'm fucking up, like I'm doing something to exploit some motherfucking Sweden somewhere who also has a Splice account and who's putting beats together. Like I done stole this shit. Man, fuck you, man. Fuck you.
The audacity of this cocksucker. The audacity. He makes me sick.
Don't come to my channel with that bullshit. We keep everything correct over here. And any artist that has a copyright claim against me, you know you're a fucking liar. Cause I wouldn't bring a copyright claim against any music that I made that I know I got from some royalty-free service. What the fuck? That's stupid. You're gonna lose. No court is gonna uphold it. No court in any fucking area or geographical location in the United States is going to uphold a claim against somebody using a fucking Splice sample. It's community property. It's royalty free. The beats, it's like these hoes. What they for? Everybody. They for everybody, man. Point blank, period. So, I done exhausted the conversation, man. This is Friday. I'm pretty much chill. I might make another royalty-free beat with my sample service that I paid for. But I mean, it's like I look at this shit like I'm DJing. I'll dig through the sounds and see something that's fucking with my head, because as a creative individual, I can hear something and it'll just trigger a whole set of ideas. It'll take me somewhere. Now, everything that I do ain't super dope, but shit, look, I think it's dope though. Everybody can't do it, bro. Everybody cannot do it and make it sound decent. And I'm just doing it from a laptop. It ain't like I'm going to the studio mixing and mastering this shit. I'm doing it all myself. So if you enjoy the music, man, support it. That's all I'm asking for. If you like the fact that there's a 24/7 little lo-fi thing going, support it. If you don't, I'm taking that shit down. It costs money to keep that motherfucker up. Costs money to keep it up. And I ain't in the practice of just burning money for no reason. I ain't in the practice of that. So, I mean, you got to spend money to make money. But I ain't even really trying to make money as much as to have a creative outlet. Again, I've told you guys, man, music is that thing which has the capacity to soothe the savage beast. So, every now and then you have to unplug and engage in some sort of meditative state. And music will help you do that. And I do, I've been, a fan of instrumentals from the beginning. As somebody who makes beats and shit like that, I've been making beats for over 25, 30 years. So I never used Fruity Loops, though. I hated Fruity Loops. I hated it. I thought it was some bullshit. I loved the MPC. Loved that. Loved the ASR 10. Hated FL Studio. But then, it just so happened to pass that everything that I had was destroyed. I had over $20,000, $30,000 worth of equipment. It was destroyed. So I'm like, damn, I gotta be creative. Let me see what this FL Studio is, man. I've been kind of fucking with it, like I bought the producer edition of FL Studio and they updated. I mean, like if you bought it one time, they continuously give you access to every subsequent update. So I bought the shit like when? 20 years ago? I bought it when it was Fruity Loops. That's when I bought it. I bought the shit when it was Fruity Loops. I bought the producer edition. Or maybe it was FL Studio then too. I don't know. But I bought that shit damn near 20 years ago. 02 or some shit like that. Well, maybe it was closer to 05. I can't really recall, but I know when I bought it, I remember using it and saying, I don't like the workflow of this. I don't like it. So I had Cakewalk, I had Reason, Propeller Head Reason, and those were the dolls I was working with at the time. Nuendo. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? I kind of like these. Fuck this FL Studio. I know I paid for it, but some of the sounds on it I like, but like if I'm making drums, I want to have the feel of a drum machine. That's what I had it, so shit, I was making bread back then with doing music, and I was doing the little shit that I shouldn't have been doing too, but, the MPC, man, it was just man, I love making beats on the MPC. Loved it. It was my shit. So, but I've been, I had that program for I don't know how many years, and then I was like, okay, well, let me go back to it and see if I can use it. I know like people like Ninth Wonder use it. It's a whole bunch of producers in hip hop and doing trap music with it. Let me see what this shit is about. I know, if I put some energy into it, I'll be able to, derive some sort of usefulness from it. And lo and behold, I feel like I'm better at using FL Studio now than I was any of the older software that I used beforehand. I think I'm better now than I was back then. So that's just, and I'm not trying to make trap music though. That's one thing. Like, I love trap music, but I've been doing it for so long. I've been doing that shit since fucking the early 2000s. I've been doing trap music, walking 808 basses and shit like that. I've been doing that a long, long time. I'm tired of the sound. I'm tired of hearing it. I want to go back to the roots. Pragmatic Prime says, what are my thoughts on Logic Pro? Logic Pro is just like a amped up version of GarageBand. I've never really taken the time to I haven't taken the time to invest in it. I have used GarageBand, and I don't think it's a bad program. I just don't, I'm not really used to the workflow. And I have not used Ableton Live either. So I really can't tell you. All I know is when it comes to making trap music for real, or just like sampling and chopping up samples and easily arranging songs, FL Studio, if you have the right workflow and you set up a template, it's fucking easy. Super easy. But a lot of people use it wrong, I think. They start off in the sequence mode instead of starting off in the playlist mode. You should never do that. Pragmatic Prime says he wants to get into production and music theory once I finish my degree next spring. Do it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like, don't get intimidated by it. Because, it's all ratios and, numbers and It's not difficult. You can really learn theory from YouTube, to be perfectly honest. Just being honest. All you gotta do is know what chord progressions are used in what forms of music. In black music, you hear a lot of 2-5-1s. You know what I'm saying? And you hear that shit a lot in jazz as well. So, but anyway, Express OB says he uses Reason, but they're all pretty similar to some degree. And one reason that I don't like Reason, I don't like Propeller Head. For the longest time, first of all, they didn't allow you to use VSTs for one. So that meant that for a very long time, you couldn't use other programs and interpolate them into what you were doing in your DAW. You had to use everything internal to Reason. So, I mean, not too long ago, they, allowed you to import VSTs. But then I don't like that you can't update the program without paying exorbitant amounts of money. I do like some of the sounds in Propeller Head, though. I ain't gonna lie. I was using Reason tough. And I was recording vocals and everything. Like, I could do everything in Reason. I really don't know if I like using FL Studio to record vocals. I just think it's an unstable program. It takes a lot out of your computer to use FL Studio, for real. Like, it'll have your studio it'll have your computer like, God damn, what are you doing? You know? That's why I prefer something. The MPC, it never goes broke. It never says it's too much for me to handle. That's why I loved it. You can take any sound and trigger it and, push it back into whatever you were recording with. So I had like a digital mixing board. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was like, it had 24 channels and it was a beauty to work with as well. All I had to do was just sync everything up into it, and it never got challenged by processing power, none of that. So, but this, working with a computer, man, and if it's not like a super powered ass computer, like I got a Mac M1, one of these new MacBook Pros, and it has 16 gigabytes of RAM. But that's all it has. I got a terabyte hard drive hooked up to it, and I do shit for, I use FL Studio and Final Cut Pro. Those are the things that, it wasn't a Mackie brand child of the Most High. It was, I can't remember the name of it, man, for the life of me. But you know what I saw? You know what I saw it in? There's a documentary about Kanye West on Netflix. And he was doing his album on that unit that I have. And in fact, I still have the unit. I own a home in St. Louis, and so I can't remember. So I got to go back home, go into the basement, go into the closet, and I got it locked up in there. And then, I'll figure out what that motherfucker is then. But hey, I can't remember what it is. I can't for the life of me. It was 24 digital tracks. And man, that thing worked, man. It's so dope, man. It has these pickups, man. No, it's not an ASR 10. I'm talking it's a digital audio workstation, but it's a mixer. It has like 24 channels on it. It's just a digital mixer. That's all it is. But, anyway, man, my whole point of doing this show was just to demonstrate, first of all, I like showing and proving. First of all, I'm from the show me state. I like to show and prove, man. I've shown and proved that whatever it is I'm doing on the up and up. I'm not stealing anybody's intellectual property. I don't like to be accused of stealing because I don't like thieves. I don't want anybody to steal my intellectual property, but what I'm doing is I'm allowing anybody can use this music. Just attribute the original music to me. Just leave a footnote and say, hey, I got this from the Green Gorilla channel. Anybody can use it. But it's hard when you got everybody acting as if, you're infringing on their copyrights. I'm going to tell you what's happening, actually. I'm going to tell you exactly how this goes. A lot of these guys have a fancy idea that they're about to blow up in the music industry by being a producer. So they'll subscribe to a service like Splice, or then they'll subscribe to another service and take the sounds that they got from Splice, run it through that service. It might be a publisher of some kind where they give away a portion of their rights in order for them to, that publisher to promote their music online and to keep track of where it's being used so that they don't become exploited or something like that. But bruh, you know them sounds for everybody, bruh. You know that stuff for everybody, man. You can't copyright some shit that's royalty free and expect for that shit to uphold when everybody else that has. If there's got to at least be 100,000 or so people, man, who subscribe to Splice. So that means you're gonna hear them loops over and over and over again. You're gonna lose. Your publishing company is fucking you over for money. Is what that publishing company is doing. You're getting fucked for no reason. So anyway, man, I'm out of here, man. Tomorrow, I'll probably be back on, but what I want to do is register a reaction. I saw this video, man. It came out around the 4th of July, though. I ain't gonna lie. Well, maybe even earlier than that, but it was funny as hell to me to see it because it was Boyce Watkins reacting to some shit that Claude Anderson had said. And man, that shit had me rolling, bro. I mean, I was laughing like a motherfucker. It's like the same shit that black men in the manosphere are saying is what Claude Anderson was saying. And, Boyce Watkins has been critical of men in the black manosphere. He has been. So to hear Claude Anderson, and he kind of like reveres Claude Anderson. So when he heard him saying some shit that a lot of black men are saying in this space, oh, man. He just sat there looking dumbfounded. I want to react to that, man. I want to say something about that shit. And I got some other people, man, who've been kind of trolling me. And I don't mind dissent. You can say things that are, against what I'm saying. But, come on, man. Like, at least have your information and your facts right, bro. Get your facts together, man. Get your facts straight, man. That's all I'm saying. Get your facts. And sometimes I'm wrong. I am human. I will err from time to time. But I gotta comment on some shit. Some shit that has been said. So anyway, man, it's Friday, man. I got some jambalaya, man, to eat. Y'all take care, man. I'ma holler at y'all later. Peace.